Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Old School Shoots. Today we have the undercard of the Nobuhiko Takada Trevor Berbick fight. It is Billy Scott taking on James Waring. Now, in my opinion, this was the actual most dangerous matchup of the boxers that the UWFI brought in because James Waring had trained and competed in a variety of rule sets. You can see him quite longer here. Oh, nice low kicks, hitting a nice body kick. Billy Scott in on that single leg, hits a trip off the single leg, and James Waring drags himself all the way to the ropes and grabs them to stand up. So yeah, James Waring, hardcore MMA fans may recognize from World Combat Championships where he dangled on Eric Paulson's hair for upwards of 18 minutes before Eric Paulson's corner through in the ring. So James Waring is a sly old dog. He also knocked one guy out in that tournament as well before going on to lose to Renzo Gracie in the finals. Billy Scott here working sort of a Thai-style defense. He's very light in that front foot, picking it up to attempt to check, but insofar he hasn't successfully checked a single kick. He's just been eating the low kicks. James Waring significantly longer. Big side kick from Waring, which is pretty cool. Another side kick. Now, of course, we have to remember that Billy Scott, at this point, was kind of fresh in the UWFI. I believe he'd only had 3 matches. Billy Scott in on a double leg, and the referee grabbing a rope break.
Can you tell that? I'd agree with that. That's the type of distance we had in competition when I used to compete.
But yeah, so Billy Scott wasn't exactly a UWFI guy, but they did like him, and they thought he was a good actual wrestler, so they matched him up here. And apparently, nearly got screwed over a bit with the matchmaking, because they changed the opponent on him a couple of times. In fact, I have a little bit of promotional material which has the other opponent on it. I can't remember the guy's name. But in the end, we ended up with James Waring. Oh, nice low-high jab followed by a right hand and a low kick from James Waring. And he's doing well here, setting Billy's expectations. And a good sprawl from James Waring too. He hits a sprawl and uses that to stand up and then reach over and grab the ropes as Billy Scott tried to finish the takedown there.
That's the only thing I would see hindering me, but like other fighters that will be watching this, and enthusiasts and martial artists, it is simply a case of this format does give you the opportunity.
Long, deep body jab from James Waring. Those are good against wrestler. If you mix up your jabs low and high, when they try and shoot in, they end up eating a very deep jab and not not being a huge fan of it. I've eaten a couple of those before. 1-1-2 and a down, and Billy Scott pops right back up, but he has been dropped at the end of the first round, and off he goes to the corner. So quickly going to sip a drink of tea.
One thing Billy Scott has to be very careful of is he's not only going up against a professional boxer, he cannot try to do like single leg dives because James Waring is going to pick up his knee and knee him in the face. Let's take a look at that punch again. Devastating.
But yeah, nice 1-1-2, and you saw Billy Scott's eyeballs go a bit wobbly there.
Seems very cool. Seems to know what he wants to do as well.
Well, the fight went a little longer than Waring's prediction of 30 seconds in the first round.
Well,
there he is in killer shape. Both of the guys actually looking in great shape here, which is good to see, because Trevor Berbick looked a little bit shitty. Alright, here we go.
Who was a double crown kickboxing champion out of Canada.
Interesting circling from James Waring. He's very long bladed stance, and he's narrowing his stance, so a good low kick to the back of his calves would knock him down, but I'm not sure if that's in Billy Scott's repertoire. In fact, as far as I'm aware, all Billy Scott has is his wrestling and his that's about it. Maybe some good old boy haymakers he can throw, but of course, given that he's in the UWFI rules, he can only throw in some slaps. At this point, Billy Scott had been training with Billy Robinson out in Tennessee, I believe, which is good for him. Working a submission game, but yeah, not I mean, he had been sparring against kickboxers, but not seemingly pretty lost here against James Waring. The issue, of course, is also the rule set with the infinite rope escapes anytime Billy Scott grabs a single leg, and the fact that James Waring is so long, James can just dive halfway across the ring to grab the ropes.
I mean, Waring does have a distinct advantage here. I mean, Scott is so open as a wrestler. I mean, the points could be massed up quite quickly.
But you notice something weird. James Waring, well, like this, I've discussed this with you many times before.
Really using his length there, poking low and high. Nice low kick, but Billy Scott's got the leg here. James Waring doing his best to sprawl on it, but Billy Scott's keeping control, turning the circle, gets the single leg, dives under, grabs the ankle to finish the single leg. Nice takedown finish there from Billy Scott, but of course the ropes strike again, and James Waring is stood back up. This is why you really don't need infinite rope escapes in striker versus kickboxer pro wrestling matches. You need to have a limit, otherwise they will be abused. Because, say for example, in the Pancras rule set, James Waring would pretty much already be DQ'd by now from using all of his rope escape points.
Definitely get in closer range if he wants to throw any kind of punches with authority.
1-1-2 from Waring there again. Low single shot from Billy Scott. Saw James Waring going for the ropes, changed angle, cracks down, finishes the takedown here, and goes in on the heel, just dragging the leg across. Got a heel hook in his neck here, and James Waring grabbing the ropes very meaningfully. So that was pretty cool there. Well done, Billy Scott, just diving straight on that leg lock. So both guys had each other in serious danger. Billy Scott getting dropped at the end of the first round and getting deep in on that leg lock there on James Waring. James Waring looking a little bit apprehensive after that one. He's probably feeling pretty confident after dropping Billy Scott in the first, but now he's not in a great way.
Hands and feet are going to have to work in unison if he's going to stand a chance against Billy Scott. Because once Scott does get hold of him, if you've just seen there, it could well be lights out.
Long double jabs. Really going to be difficult for Billy Scott to get in, because as far as I could tell, he wasn't exactly tall, and James Waring was 6'3", 6'4", like a really large dude. I remember him towering over both Eric Paulson and Renzo Gracie.
In the second round, we saw Billy Scott with the ankle lock.
Yeah, you see he's got the heel hook with the crook of the neck, which I always like. They're always cool, but not something I've been able to implement in my own game. And also kind of difficult to finish. In all the time in Pancras, the one that I remember being finished was Bas Rutten against Maurice Smith. He caught one of those, and I know that Gary Tonon's caught a couple of those in competition. But yeah, not super many. Also, the rounds are really short. I think they're 2-minute rounds, but there's quite a few of them, so this will be this is the potential to be a long video. And James Waring now going, yep, fuck this, I'm going to sit out of range, because he knows that getting held on to by Billy Scott is not ideal for him winning the fight.
Coming to the early part of round 3. Pretty even Stevens for me. Fight scheduled for 10.
And insofar, we do have to give them sort of 1 round each, because although James Waring did outstrike Billy in that first one, second round, although he did hit Billy a few times, he was in the greater danger of being finished there. So I'm not exactly sure how the judges at UWFI are supposed to do it. I do understand that using the ropes to not engage in the fight is forbidden. It results in a judging penalty. And Billy Scott is actually backing up here. He's trying to draw James Waring into striking at him, rather than following him quite so tightly around the ring, which is good. Although, again, it causes an issue. So if you're up against a superior striker, one of the things you want to do is apply pressure and get their back up against the ropes, crumple their stance, take away the power of the striking, and then hit the takedown. In my 4th fight up against a guy called Brendan Zielinski, I did that fairly well, but I was unable to finish on the ground and then gassed myself out, chasing knee bars. I also took quite a few licks getting in. But again, it was a functional game plan, backing the guy up and then using that sort of shortening of his stance up against the fence to take him down. Whereas here, if Billy Scott does that, James Waring just grabs the ropes and then in a reset, backstanding, and he's on the end of James Waring's reach again. So the rules here have unfortunately sort of hamstrung what Billy Scott can do.
He's unwilling to go inside, and it looks like evading the action right now. It actually seems that Billy Scott is taking control of the ring. Am I wrong?
Well, Billy Scott has the center of the ring, and as we know, well, I certainly do in competition, if you've got the center of the ring, you've actually got a very distinct advantage.
I actually quite like the two commentators at UWFI, although they occasionally do expose the business. And they're like, oh, you know, maybe you didn't quite get all of that kick and whatever when it's like a clear miss and like a guys dropping down. Especially in a JT Southern versus Kazuo Yamazaki fight, those guys kind of expose the business a little bit in that one. But otherwise they're pretty good. Mind you, I'm not sure if anybody told them that it was a work, or if they did, told them to pretend that it wasn't. Nice 1-2 from James Waring. He's got really long reach, but that round was not, yeah, not a hive of activity.
But Billy Scott improving in the fight, in confidence, in stature.
Referee Yarita getting the scorecards from the judges now.
How significant do you think those scorecards will be? Do you think we might see the knockout before the 10 rounds are actually...
I wonder who's in Billy Scott's corner. I can't see their heads.
I really don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, there's Yuko Miyato, sorry. There's at least one. I believe he had half decent English, so that would probably be that would make sense. All right, up on the fourth round.
Most of the punches that James Waring is throwing don't have much meaning.
So let's see if there is a little bit more action in this round. James Waring feinting at Billy Scott. Billy Scott just walking him down. And Billy Scott, yeah, is standing out at range. He wants James Waring to come to the center of the ring so he can take him down. And James Waring is hanging out near the ropes and trying to wave him on. So that way he can land punches, and then if he gets taken down, hook onto the ropes. Good understanding of the rules. Well done, James Waring. But yeah, this is not good. And this is also, so Billy Scott, of course, was interviewed by friend of the channel, friend of the show, Michael Betts, fairly recently over on the Kakatogi Road Patreon and forum threads. I highly recommend giving Michael Betts a few dollars a month and or just reading the forum thread, because you get access to if you give him the $10 a month, you get access to his video library of all of his shows, which is fairly rare and stuff that hasn't been seen very often before. But of course the issue is that talking to Billy Scott, he's of the opinion that rather than Takada and the UWFI screwing over Berbick, it was Berbick's own cornerman who screwed him. Because as far as he can tell, James Waring here understands the rules and has been training and fighting and has a game plan worked out around those rules, whereas from Billy's point of view, as far as he understood, Trevor Berbick constantly requested the rules be changed, and his corners came to, told him, yeah, we'll organize it. And then they went to the UWFI, and the UWFI just said, no, this is how we want the rules to be. So, nice long sidekick from James Waring. I like his karate stylings. But yeah, so this is Billy Scott's understanding that, and then the ULFI of course said, no, we're not going to change the rules. And so then the cornerman went back to Trevor Berbick and just said, oh yeah, we'll sort it out, it'll be fine, bro. And then send him into the ring not with a complete understanding of the rules that he was going to be fighting in. Whereas James Waring has accepted and understood the rules, despite sort of a little bit of shenanigans going on with dropping out of the fight and then going back, then coming back in on a week's notice. And he's fighting to them and doing, fighting smart, if not super excitingly. Nice long right hand from James Waring, big jab. Oh, sprawls on that takedown. Hits a nice jab and a 1-2 as Billy Scott returns to his feet. Long low kick there. Billy Scott sort of leaping out of the way of the low kick, taking a little bit of the sting off them.
Well, Waring is wary, that's all I can say.
He thought that he was going to take this fight really quickly, and he's finding out very different. And look how close to the rope.
James Waring willing to rope-a-dope there.
I think the referee should get on top of this. And
so do I. I was one of those who wanted to get involved. I mean, you can't bomb and weave off the rope.
But yeah, James Waring really not engaging super much, and he knows he can't afford to, especially after that takedown, because he hasn't got the submission defense on the ground. And that is the end of the fourth round, and he's showboating to the crowd. What a dick. Crowd, not a fan of that.
Both fighters trying to say, hey, what's the matter? Why don't you come out? But neither one willing to submit to the other guy.
Of course, this is an issue that can happen in modern mixed martial arts as well, or modern kickboxing, and also in modern boxing, that if you get two guys who are primarily counter-punchers, you end up with not a lot happening. One of those that comes to memory not even fairly recently, like nearly 6 years ago, was Jake Ellenberger versus Rory McDonald. Both those guys sort of counter punches, and then they both just sort of stared at each other for 3 rounds and ended up doing nothing, despite both of them being sort of powerful finishers and strikers before that. Also can happen between Adesanya and Silva, I believe, also had that. Both of those guys wanting to counter and then just not doing very much.
Yeah, but I just feel as the fight goes on, I mean, we're, halfway through the fight now. Scott's going to get a little bit more confident. He's only got to get hold of Waring, and I think that's where we could see Scott really turn the tables. I'm a little bit surprised at Waring. I'd like to see a little bit more from him.
Billy Scott trying to draw strikes out of James Waring to try and time the takedown, but again, Waring just binking him with jabs on the, keeping him on the end of his reach. See, nicely done, Billy Scott. He's cornered James Waring here, but of course he can't commit to the takedown because James Waring will just turn around and grab the ropes. Which is a bit shitty. There he is, he's shooting. James Waring has grabbed the ropes, and of course the referee has to step in and break it, of course, which is a bit shitty.
The crowd wanting to see the clashes. They want to see just how Waring will survive once Billy Scott gets hold of him. And I must admit, so would I.
And that's why Billy Scott is very cautious about diving in and trying to take him down now, because...
Long body jab from Waring, nicely done. Keeping Billy Scott honest at the end of his range.
Of a win in the first part of the first round. I think now wishing he hadn't made such a prediction.
But yeah, while this fight is technically interesting, presents a technical conundrum. I'm not going to call it interesting. Nice punches to the head from James Waring. Billy Scott, landing some palm strikes in the clinch here. That's smart from Billy Scott. And James Waring has grabbed the ropes to try and stand, and Billy Scott just slapping him, hit him in the back of the head there. Really levering into those strikes with his leg. James Waring punching him in the side and back of the head. This is good. This is what I like. The referee trying to bounce them out from the ropes. This is always something that referees in sort of matches do. Front headlock from Billy Scott, and James Waring diving out of the ring. Nice, Billy Scott. Just as I say the fight sort of taking a turn for the boring, Billy Scott does some cool shit. But yeah, so this... Okay. I can't remember who it was, but it's somebody talking about a boring but technical fight and saying, oh, this is interesting and only casual fans don't think that it's interesting. That's a fucking lie. Fights can be boring. While it is a technical conundrum that is interesting to think about and solve, it is, in terms of action, not massively exciting, which is, of course, a little bit disappointing. Mind you, not every fight can be Maurice Smith versus Minoru Suzuki 2. That fight is absolute madness, and I love it.
Well, here we are, end of round 5. Scott, I think, has managed to turn the corner, and actually is on the up now as we approach the latter half of this fight.
But yeah, Billy Scott here landing some nice palm strikes right to the ear and back of the head of James Waring, and James Waring throwing some strikes back. Bit weird. Look at him just lubing James Waring up with the Vaseline, just smearing him with it.
Kakiara in the corner with Billy Scott and Anjo. And that's Miyato in his corner. The first American wrestler
just smearing him in Vaseline to stop the front headlock from being secured. Those fucks.
Round 6 in this bout, scheduled for 10. Waring in the yellow trunks.
Long jab from Waring again. This is the story of the match right here again. Nice 1-1-2 again. High, low, high with the jab, landing strikes. Good basic sort of straight up and down kickboxing and boxing from James Waring, even though his circling leaves a little bit to be desired in terms of his stance getting narrower. Nice long low kick. Billy Scott trying to drag him away and sort of ankle locking him while he stands, which is pretty cool.
Which is what the sumo wrestlers eat with the Japanese wrestlers. He was eating that every day, and he's living totally Japanese and training in the Japanese UWFI system.
Long jab from James Waring. Another long jab from James Waring. Really using his superior reach here. Definitely had a fair bit of size on old Billy Scott as well. Nice 1-1-2 again. Billy Scott's head just always being there. But a lot of the stink has come off the punches of James Waring because he's not committing his hips quite so much because he knows when he commits hard to the strikes, he ends up getting taken down, which he's a little bit worried about, even though he is backing himself onto the ropes. Yeah, still punching Billy Scott right in the face.
But he has to be very careful of those hands.
Another jab. Low shot from Billy Scott here. James Waring grabs the ropes again and falls out of the ring, and the referee stands them back up.
Yes, but,
Now the referee talking to James Waring about grabbing the ropes, telling him he is using that to avoid engaging in the fight, I believe.
You notice he's staying very close to the ropes even right now when he's not actually even being caught in a submission or anything. And Billy Scott's going to have trouble because even if he manages to go inside, get close range, take Waring down in a submission hold, Waring is so close to the ropes. You notice he's standing next to the ropes. So
Stepping hook from James Waring, followed by a 2. Nice power punch combo there.
Billy Scott is going to have to find a way to bring him out in the middle of the ring and then take him down.
Isn't that good strategy by Waring?
Well, it is, but too much is evading.
In on the takedown, James Waring has hooked the ropes, yes? Oh, yes, he has, which is unfortunate. Billy Scott just grabbing, got the Grovet front headlock here, and referee breaking them up again. He tried to wrench James Waring's shoulder there in sort of that overhook manner as well, which is cool. I think that's probably smart from James Waring. Get in there, use some like limb destruction when he's got hold of him and he's on the ropes before the referee gets in and separates them. That's what I'd fucking do. Of course, if I'd had to say about the rules, I'd have said limit the fucking rope escapes. Have it just the 15 points of the UWFI. That would have made way more sense. And, you know, 15 rope escapes. If you use up 15 rope escapes, you were definitely going to lose anyway. And also, you got the points for the downs. Like, I don't understand why they just didn't use the ordinary old UWFI rules. Well, I do, because there's probably the agents of everybody sort of arguing, and they didn't want anybody to have like a advantage. Look at James Waring diving for the ropes, absolutely leaping for them, using them to get back to safety. Billy Scott's forehead growing a little bit here. Got a bit of the old Quasimodo's going on.
It's almost feeling as though you're going to fall off the edge of a cliff. So round 7, scheduled for 10. Waring.
So third last round. Let's see what Billy Scott can do, whether or not he can finish off our man James Waring.
Here we're seeing a rated clash of fighting disciplines here tonight. Billy Scott representing...
Long jabs as usual from Waring. Really, yeah, taking advantage of his reach here. Little front kick attempt from Billy Scott there. That was interesting. Jab, uppercut, right straight from James Waring. Really doing nicely, sort of varying his strikes to land hits on Billy Scott. But he's no longer committing the hip to them, as I said before, so he's not getting the knockdowns, not getting the power. So that's the issue of when you are striking with a superior grappler. When you want to hit them, you've got to hit them just hard enough that they don't want to come in, but not commit too hard that your hips are staying still, so they can get a hold of you and throw you around.
Fighting spirit, as we've seen before. His first fight with the UWFI back in Hakata Star Lane against Yamazaki, and since then he's proved himself time and time again to be a true fighter with great fighting spirit and real heart and guts.
1-1-2. In comes Billy Scott. Got a hold of James Waring. Waring grabbing hold of the ropes, turning Billy Scott onto them. Billy grabbing the front headlock again, and then slaps him right in the fucking face as the referee gets the break. That was smart. That was good. Just as the referee steps into break, he lets go and slaps Waring really fucking hard in the face. So that way, he's done it just before the referee says break, but also, yeah, still James Waring a little bit wary of the strikes. That's good heel tactics from Billy Scott. People say you can't be a heel in a shoot fight. You can, even though Billy Scott is definitely the face. People say, like, some people try to say that shoot style is lacking, as it doesn't have the sort of ring psychology that the traditional American style of pro wrestling has, that you can't sort of have heels and faces. That's a complete fucking lie. You can have people that use sort of cruel techniques or work just on the inside of the rules or just cheat just a little bit. And so rather than having them, you know, bring in steel chairs or brass knuckles or that sort of thing, you can have them exploit the rules and sort of break the code of honor while not necessarily cheating in a way that will actually have them penalized by the referee. requires greater subtlety. And there he is, does it again. Nicely done. So he hits the takedown. James Waring grabs onto the ropes. He ditches the takedown and he hits a nice palm strike as well. Billy Scott's found a way to start doing some damage and start putting a stamp on this fight. And getting a fight out of James Waring too. James Waring knows he's got to throw back now. Another shoot from Billy Scott. Grabs the ropes. Billy Scott's trying to drag him away from the ropes and just throws him out of the fucking ring. Yes, I love it. That is really cool. Just bitched him out of the ring. Look at that. And that's the end of your 7th round. Well done, Billy Scott. So the fight took a serious lull in the middle there, but now it's picking up as Billy Scott's getting more frustrated with Waring. Waring's having a little less commitment to his strikes, and so now Billy Scott is just doing whatever he wants to the man when he gets a hold of him. Look at that. That's great. Look at him. He's like, fuck. What am I doing here?
Even if he fights on pride, I think he needs to just show what he's
Alright, second last round here.
Scott's going to be fired up.
That's a moment that's going in the Billy Scott highlight, which I'll eventually make.
So, we approach round 8.
Alright, here we go. Long jabs from Waring. Let's see what Billy can do.
Scott in the turquoise trunks. About to take the initiative, I feel.
Double jab and a left hook around them. Jab, left hooks, very nice combination. Not many people see them coming because they're used to you pairing up your hips or working straight punches. It's a good way to get an angle on your punches. I quite like the combo. Nice low kick from James Waring.
Intestinal fortitude, doesn't he?
Intestinal fortitude.
Better known as guts.
Okay, I'll go along with that. But I'd like to see some guts shown from Waring.
In on the takedown again, and he shoves him out of the ring once again. At this point, I think James Waring's willingly diving out of the ring to avoid the damage. But also, that's why you need a 5-rope ring, so that people don't fall out every time they get taken down.
What this fight actually means, because it is such an important fight for all multi-stylists.
Billy Scott seems to be happy with his strategy now, even though he's not going in and...
Nice, fake punches, misses the punches, but hits a low kick as Billy Scott dances out of range. From James Waring, this could work.
And he knows that right now, unless James Waring gets in a little closer, those punches that he's throwing are really ineffective.
Nice stepping hook from Waring there. Got a hold of Billy Scott. Billy Scott checks James Waring's hands as he tries to enter.
Very, very fit. He looks fresh, he looks purposeful.
Long body jab from Waring. Like, the fact that he's able to body jab from completely out of Billy Scott's range is insane. Just how long he is. And well done, Billy Scott. Got his elbow in the way of that punch there.
The kicks aren't showing any sort of crispness or recoil, and it just doesn't seem for me to be any spark in his work.
You can see the rope, the strings used to tie the ropes together coming undone because the guys have been bouncing off the ropes the whole match. Good uppercut in the clinch there. Billy Scott got a front headlock, and once again Waring backs out of the ring to avoid the submission there. Billy Scott obviously looks genuinely pissed about that one, raising a fist saying, yeah, I've got this guy.
Waring is going to have to show something soon. He's lost too many points from evading the action and trying to escape. Waring...
Long body jab from Waring.
Billy Scott basically sticking to the same strategy.
Good long right hand to the body from Waring as well. A palm strike from Billy Scott, and Waring threw a nice punch back, and that sort of snapped Billy Scott's head back. Dives in on the takedown, and Waring grabs the ropes. Billy Scott shoving him out of the ring once again. So yeah, it was some good strikes on the inside from James Waring, but Billy Scott gets the takedown once again. End of the round.
Well, although combinations are very important and everything, I don't think Waring should be throwing too many combinations when he tries to do that. If it was a boxing or kickboxing match...
Yeah, see a nice uppercut there, but Billy Scott gets a hold once again. Drags him down with the front headlock and underhook. I believe that's called half-ouch in the... Nice right straight there from James Waring too. Half-ouch in catch wrestling terminology. And one of James Waring's cornermen wearing tiger striped Zubaz pants. Definitely a good look.
Leg combinations would be more effective here.
If he wants to work off his punches, he should throw a few kicks, and while Billy Scott is stunned, move inside, no more than 2 or 3 punches and step out, and he should be continuing that.
Alright, second to last round here.
Ninth round, 2 more rounds to go.
I believe I said that last time, but no, second to last round this time.
Armchair fighter, and that's what I am at the moment. So, as I say, we'll just see the action unfold.
Once again, use of the range by James Waring, trying to keep Billy Scott at bay, keep him away from him. And Billy Scott's worked out that taking the stink off the punches of James Waring works better for him. Nice use of the palm strikes again from Billy Scott. Uses the takedown. As James Waring is grabbing the ropes, his hands are busy, so he lands a few palm strikes there. Definitely puts a stamp on the takedown, deals some actual damage when he's got a hold of him.
If he runs in, all it'll take is, you know, one of Waring's devastating punches right on the chin to end everything. Billy Scott should just keep up what he's doing. And
dragged him away from the ropes again. And lands a kick to the body as the referee losing his shit, paying off the heat here.
I don't think Billy Scott,
And the crowd loves it. Yeah, sort of a little punt to the body as the referee gets in there to break them up.
I would say. And but I don't think he wants to.
But again, those are legal under the UWFI rules, so
tonight.
And that is
certainly
why
not an issue.
he should be actually showing the type of skills that actually demonstrates to Scott that he's not going to have it easy.
1-1-2 from Waring again, but Billy Scott's shoulder gets in the way.
Fighter's pride now.
Billy Scott should not get too overconfident and try to dive in right now. All it'll take is one good punch on the chin. And lights out for Billy Scott. But still,
James Waring's corner yelling at him, and the butt sweat of Waring is definitely taken effect. You can see his underwear through his shorts. He's actually putting some more stink on his punches now, but Billy Scott throws him all the way over and takes him down right in the corner.
Trying to step in, trying to look after his man. Well, all action in this fight. Now, for me, Waring simply just got to cut that distance down and get involved. Jabbing, just trying to get the opening. We can follow up with that big right hand.
I don't know, maybe it's my imagination, but I think Waring's punches are losing a lot of zip now.
Oh, well, we're in the latter
Yeah,
stage
Billy
of
Scott's
the
getting
fight.
his forearm in the way of some of those jabs, which is working. Although he's sort of reaching for the punches, so he's taking a little bit of the stink off. He's worked out how to defend strikes throughout the fight. Nice strike from nice right hand. Billy Scott throws him out of the ring once again. Shoves off him as he returns standing.
Jump out after him.
Billy Scott is getting really frustrated right now. He really wants to, he doesn't want Waring to be doing what he's doing. He wants to be able to bring Waring out to the middle of the ring and fight.
You're a champion, says James Waring's corner as they yell at him.
You're a champion.
He's not behaving like one.
Not acting like a champion right now.
Aha! Me.
Look at this.
Here it is.
Again.
Look at him, he gets frustrated and just boots him up. Oh, the referee got his shin in the way, so he took all the stink off it. Well done, ref.
The action.
But yeah, nice right hand there. Wobbles Billy briefly, but Billy then shoves him all the fucking way out of the ring again. And lands a palm strike as they fall over. That's pretty cool.
To show something. This is the final round. If he doesn't do something quickly, you know, a lot of people coming into this fight said it would be an upset if Billy Scott could get a victory. Billy Scott he has a cut above the eye. I don't think it should be too serious if
I don't think that
Yeah, a little nick above the eye of Billy Scott, and then they're getting fucking, like, no huge amount of Vaseline on there. Just the tiniest little bit and clean it up with your thumb, Andrew.
it would be an upset if they give the decision to Waring in the event that it goes to full 10 rounds.
I would like to
Alright, final round.
that type of decision. So, 10th and final round.
Alrighty, here we go.
Who would have ever imagined that young Billy Scott would stay
Alright, some jabs with some intention from Waring. That's good. I think he's figured out that he needs to drop Billy Scott again to get back in the good books of the judges.
with giving away so much experience, weight, height, and reach.
Well, for me, James Waring hasn't really done himself justice. He hasn't done the IBF justice.
Good jabs. Billy Scott's grabbing a hold of him. Big flying knee from Billy Scott there to the head of Waring as Waring fell over in the corner. Nice, Billy. That's good.
Waring, he's still hanging around the ropes. He's going to have to do something in this final round.
Waring thinking about side kicks maybe. Side kicks would work fairly well against Billy Robinson, I'd say. I don't think he had any of those caught. He's had his round kicks to the thighs caught. Hasn't thrown any head kicks. Hasn't thrown any body kicks either. but he's had his leg kicks picked up a few times. Whereas Billy Scott seems to have just not given a fuck about them.
Ain't proving nothing here tonight.
And some sweaty looking dudes here.
Throwing me nothing. He's just waiting for
Another takedown from Billy Scott. Got a hold of James Waring's head here. Trying to... He jumped up on the ropes. Trying to drag him away.
Billy Scott looks very frustrated.
Yep, Billy Scott's just let go and James Waring is just hanging onto the ropes here.
He knows that this is the final round and he wants to go out there and prove something.
He wants to win in style, and I think any fighter of that age and that type of ability.
Jabs to the head from Waring once again.
Waring really, for me, hasn't really demonstrated what he can.
He's putting a little more zing on those
should be about. This is a
jabs. You can see him sort of, rather than just flicking the arm out, he's stepping into them, adding his full body weight to them, but it's still not enough to stop Billy Scott just eating them and coming in after him.
a major upset here tonight.
Whichever fighter wins, we've seen a great fight tonight, though.
Oh, absolutely. It takes a lot of courage to get in there. It's okay me sitting here passing.
And yeah, apart from those two middle rounds, so the first, second round quite good, third and fourth kind of shit, and then after that it's just been fun. Billy Scott got the takedown again, slaps to the face, low kick to the leg as the referee breaks him up again. And James Waring taking ages to get back to his feet.
Tired out. He doesn't want to be here anymore.
Well, he's not got too
Yeah, Billy Scott all fired up,
and the crowd really
and the crowd loving it too.
a special end to this fight. What's been an intriguing battle between Billy Scott and James Waring.
But yeah, it's been a lot more fun since Billy Scott lost his cool and just started slapping the shit out of James.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're looking for a special ending to this fight. I mean,
But yeah, James Waring, sly old dog and exploiter of the rule sets, which is good.
to my man in the yellow trunks.
Good to see people who know how to fight to the rule set they're competing in.
Maybe still looking for the big punch.
Well, he doesn't have much time. If he expects to win this fight, he's got to show something.
Billy Scott shooting again. James Waring actually sprawls on that one. Stops the takedown. Well done. And that is it.
That's it.
End of the fight.
Believe it or not,
And the crowd booing as James Waring raises his
the crowd
hands.
is booing him. I'm sure he's
Which
not
I
upset
understand.
that
So we'll pause it there, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, no, we'll let them run the replays, see what we get.
Scott, not a happy man.
Yeah, Billy Scott with that flying knee to the underarm of James Waring.
So he didn't hit him with the knee right then. It was like Waring fell out.
And they're going to give the victory to Billy Scott, which is deserved because James Waring abused those rope escapes and those actually count against him in the end. So we'll pause it there. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into this episode of Old School Shoots. I hope you enjoyed that, apart from those 2 rounds of kind of boring shit. I hope you, hope you guys tune in later. We'll be doing some more stuff from PWFG because apparently there's a whole bunch of shoots in there that I didn't actually know about. And those will be fairly soon. Tune in for our regularly scheduled Pancras programming, and I shall see you all next time.